Hello once again, viewers. Today we have a story from subscriber Alf from Norway. In this video, Alf from Norway shares his deeply personal and unfiltered experiences of being married to a Thai woman. He peels back the curtain on a relationship that defies simple stereotypes, presenting a reality that might be quite different from what many imagine. Alf delves into the complexities, from the alluring mystery and undeniable passion that first captivated him, symbolized by a small butterfly tattoo and an intense connection. However, he contrasts this with the persistent undercurrents of suspicion, fueled by late-night phone calls and whispered conversations, alongside a constant stream of emergencies that seem to require his financial intervention. He touches on the communication gap, the struggle with differing language skills hindering deeper connection, and the baffling, frustrating reality of money seemingly vanishing into thin air, leaving him feeling less like a partner and more like an ATM. Yet amidst the chaos and confusion, Alf speaks of moments of undeniable allure, the captivating smile, the striking physical beauty that can momentarily make the challenging reality feel like pure heaven. Ultimately, Alf reflects on the predictable, perhaps inevitable, trajectory of such a relationship, acknowledging the initial lack of discipline in his decision-making process, influenced by the very environment he sought to enjoy. He concludes that while he himself, fortunately, avoided the specific pitfalls he describes in others, he offers a stark look at a certain kind of marriage that, for some, is a beautiful, explosive, but ultimately temporary force of nature. What is it really like being married to a Thai woman? So you want to know what it's really like being married to her? Well, let's just say it's never boring, but maybe not in the way you'd hope. She comes with a past that's hazy around the edges, something you never quite get the full picture of. Gives her that air of mystery, or maybe just trouble, depending on the day. And yeah, she's got that little butterfly tattoo, a permanent mark just below her navel hinting at a certain wildness. Yes, when it comes to the bedroom, things are intense. A kind of unrestrained passion that can be thrilling, no denying it. But then there's the flip side. Her phone is practically glued to her hand, buzzing at all hours. Midnight, dawn, doesn't matter. When you ask, it's always wrong number, spam call, or some whispered, urgent-sounding conversation in Thai that cuts off the second you walk into the room. Leaves you wondering, doesn't it? And forget having a quiet routine. At least twice a week, guaranteed, your day gets derailed by some emergency. Her friend needs urgent help. A family member back home has a sudden problem that apparently only your money can fix. It's a constant whirlwind of mini dramas that somehow always land at your feet. Of course, she can turn on the charm. That smile of hers could disarm a bomb squad, and she's got this uncanny knack for knowing exactly what to say or do to soothe your bruised ego after a long day. Or, well, she's attentive in other ways too. Knows how to make you feel good. Physically at least. The communication though, that's where it really breaks down. Her English hasn't really progressed, has it? So you find yourself dumbing down your own speech, chopping up sentences, dropping in Thai words like nah and kap and chai mai, hoping it connects. But all it really does is kill any chance of a proper adult conversation about anything meaningful. And the money. Mate, it's like water through a sieve. You give her what seems like plenty for herself, for bits and pieces, pocket money. Ask her the next day if she has cash for the market, and the purse is empty every single time. Try asking what happened to it. You get the pout, the sulky silence, maybe even a few tears, but never ever a straight answer about where it actually went. It's baffling and infuriating. You start feeling less like a partner and more like a cash machine that just happens to share a bed with her. But then, just when the frustration peaks, you catch sight of her, and damn it, there's always that absolutely beaming smile that wipes the slate clean for a second. That waterfall of long black silky hair, those dark beautiful eyes that can look right through you, and of course, that magnificent body. Ah yes, you can't forget that body, soft and warm and yielding in a way that short-circuits your brain. In those moments, good God, you can almost convince yourself that this right here is pure heaven. That being married to a Thai woman, this Thai woman is exactly where you're supposed to be. Well, enjoy that little slice of heaven while you can, because it's got an expiration date stamped all over it. It might feel good for a week, a month, maybe even a year if you're lucky, but it sure as hell won't last. Let's be honest, it was never designed to. This is the reality check. The inevitable crash landing you get when you marry someone who's basically a force of nature. A human firework from a place like Buriram. Beautiful, explosive, and ultimately not built for quiet stability. If you dig deep past the wishful thinking, you always knew it couldn't end well, didn't you? It was always just a countdown, a waiting game to see what specific form of calamity, financial ruin, infidelity, a sudden vanishing act, who knows, would finally bring the whole thing crashing down. There's never any real doubt that it will end. The only questions are when and how spectacular the fireworks will be on the way out. Had you maintained even a shred of discipline in your wife selection process, steering clear of the judgment-addling haze of excessive singer and the potent distraction of readily available sex, perhaps your fate might have been different. One could argue quite reasonably that you arrived in Thailand with the simple, understandable goal of enjoying yourself, not to have your emotional equilibrium utterly derailed by some vision in thigh-high boots and minimal black bikini bottoms. An angel designed, it seemed, to emotionally mug unsuspecting phalanx. For that particular ambush, my friend, you were woefully unprepared. It's a lesson many learn the hard way. There exists a sacred, unwritten list of activities strictly forbidden while under the influence of alcohol or any mind-altering substance. High on that list, alongside operating heavy machinery or attempting intricate surgery, is the catastrophic error of proposing marriage in Thailand. The resulting fallout from such chemically assisted decision-making, depressingly, tends towards a remarkably consistent and unfortunate outcome. If you currently find yourself entangled in the sticky web of such a marriage, are teetering precariously on the brink of one, or have just navigated the painful, often costly process of extricating yourself from its clutches, let's be brutally honest. The responsibility for your prani rests squarely and unequivocally on your own shoulders. The warning signs, after all, were likely as subtle as a Bangkok tuk-tuk at rush hour. Fortunately, and through a combination of sheer luck, accidental self-preservation, or perhaps a fleeting moment of clarity amidst the chaos, that particular well-trodden path to regret was one I, thankfully, did not follow. Now, addressing the subject of my wife is something I approach with a certain degree of, let's call it, strategic caution. There are a couple of rather significant reasons for this reluctance. Firstly, she remains by deliberate design someone known to a vanishingly small select circle of people in my life, a fact that speaks volumes about the private nature of our world together. Secondly, and perhaps more pressingly, the potential fallout should she ever stumble upon these candid observations is, frankly, terrifying. I'm quite confident certain death wouldn't be an overstatement. Yet, despite these very real risks I am choosing, perhaps foolishly, to embrace, I've decided it's time to lift the veil, if only slightly, on the reality of my private life. My hope in doing so is to offer you, dear viewer, an unvarnished glimpse into what truly transpires behind closed doors when your chosen spouse happens to be Thai. Let me dispense with some common assumptions right away. My wife doesn't carry the burden of a dodgy background, nor will you find any telltale tattoos that might hint at a rebellious past. Quite the contrary. In fact, the most defining characteristic of her nature is her profound conservatism. To truly grasp the depth of what I mean by that, it's essential to move beyond superficial definitions and consider the word conservative in its broadest, most encompassing sense. My wife embodies conservatism not just in her actions, but fundamentally in her thought process. Traditional family values aren't just a concept to her, they are the bedrock of her existence. This translates into a meticulous carefulness with money. Every baht has its purpose. Her personal presentation is unfailingly modest. Her dress is conservative, her hair is cut in a simple, classic style, and her footwear is, without exception, sensible. You'll rarely find her suggesting a night out. She much prefers the comfort and control of cooking her own food at home, a skill at which she is, I must admit, exceptionally gifted. Alcohol is a rarity, consumed only occasionally and with strict moderation, and smoking is simply out of the question. The idea of spending time in noisy bars holds zero appeal, and she possesses a deep-seated shyness that makes her reserved around strangers. Furthermore, and this is a boundary etched in stone, she will absolutely not tolerate any public displays of affection from me towards her. The layers of her conservatism extend even to the most unexpected areas. For instance, she visibly stiffens and gets genuinely uncomfortable whenever a kissing scene appears on television or at the cinema. It seems even simulated public affection is beyond the pale, a reaction perhaps unsurprising when you consider the complete and utter absence of any form of snogging on mainstream Thai television. It simply isn't part of the cultural landscape she grew up with. And dancing, well, let's just say it's not her forte. Oh, she can perform those rhythmic hand gestures and subtle foot movements you see associated with traditional Isaian music. There's a certain grace to it, I suppose. But in my book, that doesn't quite qualify as what one might call actual dancing. More notably, however, is the remarkable tranquility she brings to our home. There have been precisely 0 instances of screaming fits, 0 objects hurled in anger, 0 dramatic storms. The only potential for raised voices or airborne breakables, I have to admit, would likely originate with me, though thankfully, her calm usually preempts any such regrettable displays on my part. Her inner peace, I believe, stems significantly from her deep-seated faith. She kneels to pray before falling asleep every single night, without fail, and observes her prayers at least a couple of other times throughout the day. Her respect for all things Buddhist is profound and unwavering. It is a cornerstone of her identity. This ingrained conservatism, this adherence to tradition and propriety, naturally extends into the most private corners of our life together. Without veering into any inappropriate or bawdy detail, let's just say our activities in the bedroom are, much like the rest of her life, God-fearingly standard. The merest suggestion from me, even a tentative verbal exploration of trying something even slightly outside the conventional norms, would, I am absolutely certain, be met with a reaction ranging from wide-eyed shock to outright horror. The very thought of her discovering, say, a battery-powered device tucked away innocuously in the bedside cabinet, well, the potential fallout is simply beyond my imagination. It's a boundary I understand implicitly, and one I have no intention of ever testing. Even after 11 years sharing a life, a home, and a bed, there are still these small, consistent tells that speak volumes about her nature. Every night, before climbing into bed, she emerges from the bathroom, still meticulously wrapped in her towel. The act of changing into her nightdress is performed with a deliberate discretion, either entirely out of my line of sight or, at the very least, with her back resolutely turned towards me. It's a shyness that time hasn't eroded, a quiet modesty that, frankly, I find both surprising and endearing after more than a decade together. This ingrained inclination towards care and service manifests in countless ways, big and small, that form the fabric of our daily life. I genuinely cannot recall the last time I had to press a shirt myself, or even wash a single cup. Those tasks are simply handled. Without a word, toothpaste is already waiting on my toothbrush when I step into the bathroom each morning, a small but potent symbol of the quiet, constant attention she pays to my needs. She takes care of me isn't just a platitude. It's the simple, undeniable truth of our dynamic. Now, let me be absolutely clear when detailing these aspects of our life. I am, by no stretch of the imagination, complaining. This isn't a litany of grievances. It is quite simply the reality of my married life, and I am profoundly happy within it. We are content, comfortable, and yes, genuinely happy together, which holds true, as in any long-term relationship, most of the time. The fundamental point I am trying to convey by sharing these seemingly mundane details is this. For someone who has never been married to a Thai woman, you might hold certain preconceived notions or imagine that the day-to-day reality would be dramatically different from what I've described. Perhaps you picture something more exotic, more volatile, or simply outside the realm of what you consider normal in a Western context. But the reality, at least in my experience with a deeply traditional Thai spouse, is often found in these quiet, conservative habits and the profound, unspoken ways in which care and partnership are expressed. Being married to a Thai woman, just another typically Thai experience. So there you have it. Alf from Norway's incredibly candid account of his experiences, offering a raw and sometimes uncomfortable look at one man's journey into marriage with a Thai woman. We heard about the initial allure, the undeniable passion, but also the significant challenges, The mysterious phone calls, the constant financial demands, the communication hurdles, and that underlying feeling of being on an unpredictable ride. Alf didn't pull any punches, laying bare the complexities and ultimately his perspective on why some of these relationships can be destined for a dramatic ending. It's a story that certainly sparks a lot of conversation and likely resonates with some of you out there. What are your thoughts on Alf's story? Do you have similar experiences or perhaps a completely different perspective on cross-cultural relationships, especially in Thailand? Let us know in the comments section below. We'd love to hear what you think and keep this discussion going. If you found Alf's story insightful, challenging, or thought-provoking, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new here and want to hear more real-life stories and perspectives like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our future uploads. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.